Hey guys, this is Gunny. Welcome to Gunny Sharp Talk. I'm here at Omaha Knife. I'm gonna do kind of a quick demo review of the JIGS system, Jende Industries' new sharpening system. I did an unboxing video and realized in the unboxing, because we reboxed everything to unbox it to kind of show you what you were getting. The angle cube I left out, and just to kind of show you, get a waterproof angle cube or water resistant. I don't know how long I'd let it soak underwater, but it does resist water. You get a little screwdriver in here, change batteries, get your little plastic carrying case. I'm just going to kind of demonstrate how this works and some of the things I do like about it. One of the things is, if you're doing a smaller knife, so like on some of the other systems, I don't have the option of moving the clamp dead center and just using a smaller clamp like this. I can use a smaller one, but it's off center, which works fine, but I don't know. I kind of like the idea of being able to center it. Anyways, let's clamp this up and I can kind of show you how everything works. I'm gonna mark my bevel with the marker that came with it real quick. And if you guys didn't see me mark the bevel, there's a video that I've done on how I mark bevels. So anyways, bring this one out a little bit. So everybody clamps a little different. One of the things they'll tell you is, and this takes 2 hands, which, yeah, to get one clamp set, and you should get one of them set before you set the knife in here like I just did. But this knife's pretty dull and I'm not overly concerned about cutting myself. So one of the things I do is, one, if you want to be super precise, having an equal distance from your pivot to your tip, from your pivot to your very heel, makes a difference in how even your bevel is all the way across. If you're looking for a perfectly even bevel, then that's one of the ways to do it. A quick, easy way that I do is I make sure this tip is parallel to this corner of the clamp, or table if I'm using like an Edge Pro or something. It translates from one system to the next. Now, by doing that, and it doesn't have to be on the same line, it could be out here. It just needs to be parallel. So the tip really needs to be pointing in the exact same direction. And then you move here to keep that tip there, or you move here. But either way, you end up clamping pretty similar to those that draw a line from heel to tip. Because there's a slight difference in some knives, with the tip being, the bevel of the tip being close to the spine, you have a little thicker behind the edge steel, and there's a slight angle change. In order to keep the bevel even, by me doing the tip and worrying about the tip, it ends up even throughout. And I'll do a video later showing you how to alter pressure to clamp it like this and still get an even bevel no matter what. Anyways, so go into, tighten this down a little bit just to get it snug so it doesn't move. Same thing here. Make sure these are tight. And you don't need to like gorilla grip this or gorilla tighten it, which I have a tendency to do with everything. If you get these too tight, you do run the risk of stripping them out, and there's no reason to get it anything but snug, because I mean, you can pick it up with that. So now that this is on here, to get my general angle, oh, pretty close, actually about right there. Well, anyways, if I wasn't, I would unscrew this a little bit if I was off by several degrees, and I'd slide this up and down. And then you have your micro adjustments here, which will go down to like a 0.05 adjustment. But like I said, I'm removing the marker, so we're gonna call this good. But in order to see what it is, I would take the angle cube, turn it on, set it on here, and zero it out. Hit it real quick, don't hold it too long or it'll mess your numbers up. If you just tap it real quick, this angle cube zeroes out. Then you're gonna wanna place it on here. Now, personally, I would either slide it all the way to the back, so you have it the exact same place every time, or you can go all the way to the front and even it with this. It's easier just to slide it to the back. But either way, it shouldn't make a difference. It shouldn't matter where you have it on here. You should be within 0.05 no matter what. So, well, if it'll stop moving. Anyways, we're at I'm gonna say 1995. If I quit jacking with it, I'm moving the table, so that's why it keeps bouncing around, is because I have cardboard sitting under here and I keep bouncing it. Anyways, I'm gonna leave it where it's at. I'm gonna start out with the, is it 320 Procera Nano Pro. Well, good thing that's not sharp, because I'm sitting here messing with it. Don't do that. It's not safe. So, and also being here at Omaha Knife, if you guys haven't checked out their website, giving them a plug, because they're my local neighborhood sharpener and knife store. Been coming up here for about 5 years. I've watched them really grow. I don't know about you guys, but I always like to support the small guys. I know there's plenty of the big boys out there too that have some things that some of these smaller places don't, but with the staff here, they've always been good about if they can order something for me or something I want, all I gotta do is ask them. Very knowledgeable people, very personable. They do well if you guys call them. So, and I do appreciate them letting me come in on a day when the store's closed to check out this system, because they're the only ones in the US right now that are selling them. And yes, I did kind of roll it off the edge here. But I've watched this place go from just having a handful of ZTs and quite a few Benchmades and a handful of Spyderco to a little bit of everything. Another thing is, if you ever do roll over around your tip, since I'm on the video, if you will set on the tip and you'll work back into it this way, it will put that tip back on there for you. So, sorry guys, I'm at kind of an odd angle so that you guys can see. So it's not that easy for me to see what I'm doing. Probably should have went with the coarser grit. Anyways, I'm not going to do a full sharpening. So, and you flip it. Flips pretty easy. You can go either way. Your tensioning screws here, so you can make it more difficult to flip if you've got a heavier knife or you're doing a machete, and it will sharpen a machete. You may want to tighten the tension so that it's not so easy to flip, because when you have that heavy blade or heavy handle on there and you barely touch it, you spin it. All clamp systems are kind of that way. You gotta be careful with that, so you want your tension right. Anyways, I would flip it. I would set the cube back up here. And part of the reason it's off so much from one side to the next is being on this cardboard. And now, if you're doing micro adjustments, sometimes picking the cube up and setting it back on there really helps, because it takes us a couple seconds for it to register. There we go. That's about what we were on the other side. 19.95. And one of the reasons why I'm making sure it's right at 19.95 is because if I'm going to do it at 20, exactly at 20, when I get up into the higher grits, since they're finer, it sometimes helps to go up that 0.05 to make sure you have your burr removed and that you're really hitting the apex. I'm not using a lot of pressure and don't like a lot of pressure. I kind of like to let the stone do most of the work. If I do use pressure, I alter where my pressure lands by the way I hold the handle and where I torque it a little bit. And I'll do a video for you guys at some point doing that. And me touching here is just something that I got in the habit of doing, even with like the TS Professional or whatever. Just so that I know I'm not dropping the stone on it or doing something and flipping it. Kind of a subconscious thing that I don't necessarily always pay attention that I'm doing. So the tip's been blunted a little bit. Like I said, going back into the tip like this puts it back. And now on this machine, it also has self lubricating pivot bushing. Like I said, it is stainless steel construction. I like that about it. I like the solid acrylic base. I like that it won't rust. It's dishwasher safe. So when you get all that little fine metal dust and stuff down in all these little nooks and crannies that are hard to clean out, just take it apart, throw it in your dishwasher, and it's as good as new. They did real good job on the machining. One thing that this one doesn't have that the ones that you would purchase do is they have a set screw here on each side. And there's not really much play in this one. It's fit tight, but because it's a press fitting, they're going to do another set screw here, so to make sure you don't have any play up and down. And with any system you get, there's going to be slight amounts of play. I mean, you're not going to get around that. In order to knock out all that, then these things would be so astronomically expensive, they wouldn't be worth it. But I would say this system probably has less play than any that I've used. Those of you that use some of the other systems know what I'm talking about. You know that there's play in all of them. This is, I would say, every bit as precise as like the TS Professional. It is very simple. You don't have a bunch of other clamps to buy with this, which I do like that. I don't have to change a bunch of clamps. Should be able to do most of what I need with these clamps. If not all of what I need. I say should be because I haven't personally sharpened a bunch of different knives with this. So I haven't had the odd grind or things like that where you run into issues and you have to troubleshoot it. Generally, I can make, even with those, I can make any system work, even, you know, a Lansky or Gatco, or worst comes to worst for me, then I won't use the system, I'll just freehand it. Well, I say worst comes to worst. Sometimes I do that anyways, just because it's faster. Now, I was going to say, you don't have stops. I mean, you have one, so you can't pull this all the way out, but you don't have stops. So essentially, you could go too far forward. Anybody that has used a system before generally doesn't. If you notice, I instinctively stop where my stones do. I know on like my TS Professional, it has stops, but I don't ever hit them. I don't like the way it jerks the machine when I hit them. So I instinctively stop before I hit them. And I usually adjust the stops out far enough to where I can come all the way to the end. Before it would hit it, I would be into my hand anyways. So kind of letting that stone get dry while I'm talking and thinking. Let it get really dry. Anyways, there's just about a burr all the way down. There is. So I'm going to quit sharpening and just kind of talk about it for a minute. With your micro adjustments here, you have these threaded rods that it walks up and down. And like I said, you can adjust to 0.05. You can do it here. You can do it on one of the sides, either side. It doesn't matter. All three gears are tied together. One thing I haven't run into yet with this, because it's self-lubricating, is sliding in and out of this bushing. You guys will know what I'm talking about with some of the other systems, how you'll get that sticky feeling and it kind of pushes sometimes, and then you need to put a drop of oil or something. With this one, I don't. If anything, if I wanted to smooth it up, I could throw a drop of water in it. But it's smooth enough for me without doing that. And just throwing a drop of water in it just makes it slide in and out of there that much easier. I imagine you may want to put some water on it once in a while, because you may get little metal shavings and stuff like that from water running down and getting in there. And I haven't had an issue with it sticking, but if that happens, then it may stick a little bit. There's only so much to say about this, because it's really a simple system. I mean, you don't have a lot of working parts. You don't have a lot of small parts. It comes with the Allen wrench instead of like a Torx, which, you know, most of us probably have laying around. I guess most of us knife guys have Torx laying around too. You're going to be able to get different sets of stones with it. I'm sure there's going to be some like Chaucer sets and like different package deals. I know you guys are wondering, okay, that's all great. What's the price point? And talking to Tom last week, you're looking at $5.99 retail. It's kind of a base deal, and then you can build from there. Talked about potentially one without stones and build your own, using what stones you have or ordering your own sets of stones rather than being confined to certain stones or having a cheap set of stones that you're not going to use and being forced to buy those. Anyways, I'm sure you guys are going to have lots of questions. There's lots of things I didn't really think of. Like I said, it's such a simple machine. There's not a lot to talk about other than it works. It's really precise. It's a solidly built piece of equipment that should last you a lifetime. And I like the idea of being able to throw it in the dishwasher. Because I get bad about not cleaning mine up right away sometimes, and then I have to sit down and do a whole session of just cleaning for my system. Or with this, I wouldn't. It'd be faster. I'd just take it apart and throw it in the dishwasher. Be done with it, put it back together. You have some of this grease that, like I said, is food safe grease. One of the things you're going to want to do, because this is stainless on stainless, when you got stainless threads on stainless threads, can tend to want to lock together after a while if you get them too tight. I would just take a little bit of this when you open it up. I didn't when we opened this because it was already on there. But take a little bit of this grease, put it on there. I'd put it on the threads here. I'd put it on all my threads. You shouldn't have to do it again unless you wash it. Throw it in the dishwasher or something, it'll wash it off. But the micro adjustments on this is one of my favorite points of this system. Yes, there's other systems that do micro adjustments. I just like the way this feels. So smooth, easy to do. I like that I don't have a lot of extra bulk with this. Some of you may notice that it doesn't have like a stone docking on here. I talked to Tom about that, and he's talking about getting something to where you can set the stone off to the side and it'll hold the handle. That's in the works. My TS Professional, I dip my clips anyways, my clamps, so that they hold better and they don't scratch up steel. I don't have to tape everything. So this coming with this rubber on here is kind of nice. Yeah, overall, I'm pretty impressed. I was kind of wondering when I first checked it out what I was going to think, but I'm really impressed. They did a nice job. So anyways, if you guys would like and subscribe, ask me questions. Like I said, there's a lot of things I'm just rambling and I forgot. I'm sure I forgot to mention or something that you wanted to know, so please ask. And thanks for watching.